All right, everyone, we can go ahead and get started. Once again, thank you so much for hopping on and joining our SkySlope Masterclass. We'll take roughly about 15 minutes here to do a deep dive into today's topic, which is Digisign. So my name is Kira. I will be your tour guide here today. I'm part of the learning and development team. Because we do have a short amount of time and a good amount of information to cover, feel free to drop any questions into our chat feature here within Zoom. I'll roll right on through at the end here, make sure all of those questions get answered. But for the most part here, keep in mind, we will be keeping everyone on mute, just simply so we can record today's training and provide this back on our YouTube page, which you can find underneath that masterclass icon on support. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into today's session. The first we're going to cover here is our Digisign tool within SkySlope Forms. I will then touch on Digisign as a standalone product within your main account. Now, before we dive into my demo account here today, just like to clarify, we do have 3 separate SkySlope products. We have our main SkySlope all-in-one transaction management platform, and we also have our SkySlope Forms tool. So if you are in an area where you have access to SkySlope Forms, this is going to be a full service digital forms platform, preloaded and mapped association and MLS libraries. Last but not least, we have Breeze. Now, Breeze is our simplified disclosure tool. However, once again, only available in certain areas. However, the reason why I bring up our products here today so we can take a look is because Digisign is fully integrated into all 3. So regardless of what you have access to, you'll have Digisign available to you through any SkySlope tool. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into my SkySlope demo account. All right, here we are in my main SkySlope demo account. Keep in mind that I will be really working as an agent here today, and this is going to be set up with that SkySlope logo up at the top left corner. Now, to get started, we mentioned we have a few different Digisign options. You have Digisign through SkySlope Forms. You have Digisign as a standalone option. And any documents sent out through any SkySlope apps will automatically load within those SkySlope property files. So let's go ahead and do so now. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into my SkySlope Forms tool. Now, we do have our fully integrated e-signature tool right here within Forms. Now, I'm going to start with an already in progress property file. So here I'll click right on into a file that I've been working on. I can select the different documents here, and I can come on down to the bottom and click Fill and Send. Now, this will lead me to my Forms fillable page, which will then allow me to send right for signature. So I'll fill out these documents and then click Prepare Signature to lead me into Digisign. Now, I'll just confirm that my seller does in fact need to sign. I, as an agent, let's indicate that I need to sign as well before we move forward. Taking a look once again at this fully capable e-signature tool. Here within Digi, up at the top of my screen, you'll notice I have all of the bells and whistles. Now, if you're in an area that observes that strike-through tool, you'll see that in this action menu as well. I happen to be a California agent in this demo, so you'll notice that in California, we don't observe that strike-through. Here I can see I've got this sample form that was uploaded along with a California or CAR form that I pulled from that library. One thing to note, here within Digisign, if you're pulling any forms through our SkySlope Forms library, it will come custom mapped. I have these signature blocks. I can also see that they're color-coded. On the left-hand side, I can see that I've got this teal color. That is my client, Michael. He's been assigned. And I can also see that I myself as an agent, I have this dark blue. Now, over on the left side here, I can actually move the documents into a different order if I'd like. Take a look at the different contacts involved in this envelope. And if I need to update those recipients or add a contact, I can do so using these three dots. You'll see I have an edit option, which I'll click right into. I can see again both of those recipients. And let's say I would like to add my assistant. I'll go ahead and grab Miss Allie agent here. I know that she is going to need a copy. So I'll change her action required to receives a copy, hit save, and I can see that she's now assigned this nice purple color. So I can again reference that color coding setup and the ability to add a signer group. So I can update, let's say that I need Michael to sign second. I myself would like to sign first. That's perfect. Scrolling right on down, we'll go ahead and remove Allie for now. I'm happy with these two and save. You'll get a green box up at the top confirming those changes are good to go. I can now see that those recipients reflect the same along with that signer group. So just an easy reference. And if you want to increase that visibility, you can actually move these around. So go ahead and make that comfortable for you. If you'd prefer to draft an outgoing email, you can go ahead and do so here by editing this message. We'll go ahead and just add something a little bit more custom here. I'll hit save. I can reference that outgoing email. And I can also update any of these pre-placed signature blocks. So for example, SkySlope went ahead, mapped and coded out all of these forms. Now that's going to be true for any of these integrated association or local board documents. Now, if your brokerage would also like to create a brokerage library, they can go ahead and do so and include any brokerage specific documents to include those fillable fields. Now here, since this is a form coming right from CAR, once again, that integration is already set up. You'll see that those signature blocks are already in place along with that date stamp. To edit this, I'll go ahead and click on that pre-placed block and I'll notice in the editing tools available on the left. Now I know that I uploaded a sample form. This does not include any blue fillable sections here. This is going to allow me to place these on my own. So here, if I'd like to add a signature, I can go ahead and do so. And you'll notice when I select that signature block, it changes that color to match Michael. If I go ahead and drop this down, you'll notice I can select my own name. That signature appears blue now. So again, I'm just looking to make this really easy so you can see who you're assigning these fields off to. And once again, that editing block will appear to my left. SkySlope really designed Digisign to be all-inclusive. Not only does it do a lot of the work here for you, but it gives you a lot of editing capabilities. Now here I can notice some block actions. I can actually go ahead and highlight this as a whole by dragging this over both fields. And I can go ahead and remove. The same thing works if I have a checkbox, I can go ahead and apply that. That same editing block will appear to the left. Let's say I want to include 5 in this grouping. It'll update accordingly, so I can require at least, at most, or exactly. I can even read only or mark this check by default. So lots of options here, especially if this is a fully uploaded document. It does give you the ability to add in those text fields as well, so you can kind of create your own fillable fields. Now I'll go ahead once again, add that signature. I'm happy with that being the only required line item. I really had a chance to take a look at all of the different features here, played around with that signer group and that color coding system. I'm making sure that my recipients, once again, are good to go before coming on down to the bottom and clicking send. I can reference that email. I can update accordingly, but for now, let's go ahead and send for signature. Perfect. I've got confirmation that envelope has been sent, and I have the ability to click I'm done or sign now. As an agent, I did indicate that I wanted to sign first, so I'll go ahead and click sign now, agree that this is legally binding, and get started with that blue arrow. I'll go ahead and select the first required box and select a signing style for myself. Choose to use that signature, and you'll keep an eye on the counter at the bottom of our screen. As I click right on through, you'll see that count continues. 5 out of 5. When I do complete that out, I have a blue finish signing option. I'll go ahead and click so, giving me now the ability to download these documents. However, as an agent, I will receive a copy of these to my inbox. All right, my work here is done. I've really completed out these forms. I am happy. So I now know that these documents are going to head right on over to my client's personal inbox. I'll go ahead and pivot us right on over there. And I can now see from within my client's inbox, they received a very similar email. I can go ahead once again and get started. And as a client, you'll notice I'll agree to that legally binding term, and I'll be able to get started with that first required signature. So I do not need to download anything. I do not need to create a Digisign account. This will simply allow my client to roll right on through. Once again, I have that available counter that'll keep track. So you'll notice really that that client perspective is exactly the same as the agent perspective. So rest assured, when you are signing out these documents, this will give you the opportunity to really enjoy that client perspective at the same time you're working on your own. Now here, we'll actually go ahead, pivot right on back over to my SkySlope Forms tool. Go ahead and bring this up for us here. There we are. So back from that agent perspective, I can see, let me go ahead and take a step back here. Wrong one. All right, so we were working out of that capital Av here. So again, I am really starting underneath this specific property. So I really wanted to highlight that before pivoting over to the standalone version of Digisign. So to clarify, you have Digisign available here within Forms. You'll access this by starting that Forms process and creating that property file. However, let's go ahead and navigate right on back to my main SkySlope account. I'm also going to notice Digisign here from my home screen. So now that I've sent out documents right on through Forms, accessing that integrated digital signature tool, we also had the chance to sign those from both the agent, and we had a chance to take a look at that client perspective. Now, there's really no difference between the Digisign that you have access to here within Forms and the standalone version on your desktop. However, you'll notice when I click in, this is not going to be tied to a specific property. So if you have a document sitting on your desktop you'd like to send out for signature, but maybe not relevant to any properties you're working on, you'll go ahead and drop this new envelope option down, and you can choose no property. Now, to ensure that these documents automatically upload within those property files, you'll want to choose a property. So this is a great way to connect your SkySlope properties with this integrated signature tool. Simply ensures that any of these fully executed forms will land within that Documents tab. So let's go ahead and choose no property for now. I'll go ahead and choose to upload a document just directly off of my desktop here. Perfect, I've got that sample form ready to go. That will nicely upload for me. I'll just go ahead and use the one document for now and click Next. And you'll notice here, I'll preemptively set up those recipients along with that signing order. So let's say today, just me. And moving forward, I'm brought right back into familiar territory. So regardless of which route you take, know that when you send documents out using SkySlope Forms, you will not need to select a property, simply because it'll capture the information relevant that I've already provided. If I choose to use Digisign from my home screen, it does give me the ability to send out documents not relative to a property file. However, if you're looking for these documents to land in the Documents tab, once they're completed, make sure you select the property they belong to. All right, guys, well, with that, that is going to wrap up today's masterclass. As a reminder, You can go ahead and switch around to those different tools using that apps menu. And if I navigate back to SkySlope, I can always reach out to that amazing support team if I have any questions. If you're looking for some more information on all things Digisign, go ahead on our main home base, click right into this Digisign icon to explore all of our different training offerings. I'll go ahead and bring my PowerPoint back up for us as we wrap up. If you do have any questions, of course, feel free to drop those into our chat feature. I'll go ahead and hang out here for a few more minutes, make sure all of those questions get answered. But before you disconnect, I pose to you to give Digisign a try. You can do this once again, either with no property assigned or through SkySlope forms. If you have any questions when you're sending out these envelopes, of course, feel free to reach out to our incredible support team. But just like I did here today, you can always send some documents to yourself to really gauge that client perspective. So with that, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you as always attending our masterclass. We'll be recording today's session and uploading that onto our support page. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll have the same 10:30 schedule. A new round of topics as we move into December. We're really excited. Some of that is going to include some end of the year cleanup, a few basic to-do items there as we're jumping into the new year, ensuring that your team has a nice, strong start. So once again, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you being here. And as always, happy sky sloping.